Born a prince in Central Asia, he lost his homeland, wandered as an exile, and fought battle after battle to carve out a kingdom for himself. He was a warrior, a poet and a visionary leader, but also a conqueror who claimed a land that was not his. From the battlefields of Panipat to the palaces of Agra, his legacy is debated to this day. Was Babur the rightful founder of a golden era, or just another villain in history? Babur was born in 1483 in Andijan, Fergana, modern-day Uzbekistan. He was a descendant of Timur on his father's side and Genghis Khan on his mother's side, giving him a prestigious lineage and a claim to power in Central Asia. By the time Babur was born, the Mongol descendants in Western Central Asia had intermarried with Turkic and Persian communities, blending into the local culture. Persian influence was strong, with Farsi serving as the official court language, and Islam had become the dominant faith. In 1494, Babur's father, the Emir of Fergana, died suddenly, leaving the 11-year-old to inherit the throne. However, his rule was far from stable, as rival uncles and cousins plotted to overthrow him. Determined to strengthen his position, Babur took an aggressive approach and began expanding his territory. By 1497, he had successfully captured Samarkand, a key city on the Silk Road. However, while he was away, his rivals back in Andijan rebelled. Forced to defend his homeland, Babur lost Samarkand in the process. By 1501, he had briefly regained control of both Samarkand and Andijan, but his ambitions were cut short when the Uzbek leader Shaybani Khan launched an attack. Babur suffered a crushing defeat, bringing an end to his rule in what is now Uzbekistan. For 3 years, the young and displaced prince roamed Central Asia, seeking allies to help reclaim his father's throne. With little success, he decided to change course. In 1504, at the age of 21, Babur led his small army southward, braving the snow-covered Hindu Kush mountains to reach Afghanistan. There, he besieged and captured Kabul, establishing it as the foundation of his new kingdom. Still ambitious, Babur formed alliances with the rulers of Herat and Persia, launching a fresh attempt to reclaim Fergana between 1510 and 1511. However, the Uzbeks once again crushed his forces, forcing him to retreat to Afghanistan. With his northern ambitions repeatedly thwarted, Babur began to set his sights southward once more. In 1521, Babur saw the perfect chance to expand southward. The ruler of the Delhi Sultanate, Ibrahim Lodi, had become deeply unpopular. His authoritarian rule, along with his decision to replace experienced nobles and military leaders with his own loyalists, led to widespread resentment. Within just 4 years, discontented Afghan nobles eager to overthrow Lodi invited Babur, a Timurid prince, to invade and seize power. Babur gladly accepted the opportunity. He assembled an army and laid siege to Kandahar, though the city's fortress resisted far longer than expected. As the siege continued, however, powerful figures from the Delhi Sultanate, including Ibrahim Lodi's uncle, Alam Khan, and the governor of Punjab, began switching sides and pledging their support to Babur. After 5 years of preparation, Babur launched a full-scale invasion of the Delhi Sultanate in April 1526, facing off against Sultan Ibrahim Lodeh. On the plains of Punjab, Babur's 24,000-strong cavalry stood against Lodeh's massive force of 100,000 soldiers and 1,000 war elephants. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Babur had a decisive advantage: gunpowder. The ensuing battle, known as the First Battle of Panipat, led to the downfall of the Delhi Sultanate. Babur's well-planned tactics and gunpowder weaponry overwhelmed Lodi's army, resulting in the death of the Sultan along with 20,000 of his men. This victory marked the birth of the Mughal Empire in India. After defeating the Delhi Sultanate, Babur secured the loyalty of most Muslim nobles, but the Hindu Rajput rulers were far less willing to submit. Unlike his ancestor Timur, who was primarily a raider, Babur was committed to establishing a lasting empire in India. He chose Agra as his capital, but the Rajputs fiercely resisted this northern invader and his expanding rule. Recognizing that Babur's forces were weakened after the Battle of Panipat, the Rajput princes of Rajputana united behind Rana Sanga of Mewar, assembling an army even larger than Lodi's. In March 1527, at the Battle of Kanwa, Babur's troops crushed the Rajputs, delivering a decisive blow. However, the Rajputs refused to give in, continuing their resistance through battles and skirmishes across northern and eastern India for years to come. In autumn 1530, Babur fell seriously ill. Seizing the moment, his brother-in-law, along with some of the Mughal court nobles, plotted to take the throne, bypassing Babur's eldest son, Humayun, who had been designated as his heir. Humayun rushed to Agra to assert his claim, but soon fell gravely ill himself. On December 26, 1530, Babur passed away at the age of 47. At just 22, Humayun inherited an empire that was fragile and plagued by both internal strife and external threats. Like his father, Humayun would eventually lose his kingdom and be forced into exile, but he would later return to reclaim his rule. Babur's life was filled with challenges, constantly fighting to secure his position. Yet, despite the hardships, he laid the foundation for one of the world's most powerful empires. The Mughal Empire endured for centuries, ultimately lasting until 1868, when it was brought to an end by the rise of the British Raj.